All right, we here again. On Tuesdays, as usual, Creative Suitland for the Right and Freedom Program. And today, I have an honored guest, who is also a co-facilitator with this Right and Freedom Program, Mr. Alexander Campbell. Now, before we get into all of what he is, I want to share a little bit of backstory. I came home through the reentry court. Mr. Campbell would be in the court. I didn't even know all of his duties there, but I learned that he was a peer navigator. It was a day that I was getting crushed by the judge because of something that they thought that I did or what was happening. And I was left out the courtroom, felt defeated. And Mr. Campbell came to my aid, was able to give me words of encouragement and help me get through the process. Now, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do?
Okay. I'm a forensic peer in the court. I currently work in the state's attorney's office, working with the truancy. But I'm a certified forensic peer as well as a certified psychiatric rehabilitation person. And what I do is help the youth and help returning citizens and those that are in the diversion programs like Back on Track get it back together in order for them to be successful. And I'm also a returning citizen, so I feel special.
Now that's the key part. Now that's the part that I definitely wanted to get into. Now, it's those of us that were part of the problem that are now closest to the solution. And so I would like for you to explain the time that you did, if you want to tell a little bit about where that was, how that affected you, and why that makes you more qualified than more other people as to do this work that we do.
Okay, I did time in VA, but I'm from here, actually Southeast. I went to Anacostia, Go Indians, and I did 26 years on a life sentence, still on parole, actually. I don't get off parole technically until 2592. What makes me a person that can make a difference is the fact that I used to be them. And my whole goal is to keep them from being me in my past, because they have an opportunity to be successful and to change not just their lives, but their family lives and their community lives. So that's what's the most important part. And that's why we'll do this program. And when we as returning citizens have ourselves together and focus, then we understand that services are required, because we hold ourselves accountable. And because we hold ourselves accountable, we understand that this is an opportunity for redemption, like the work that you do with this writing piece. Writing freedom is powerful, because words count. You know, when we in prison, we often heard what? The pen is mightier than the sword. We didn't understand that out here, and that's why we got locked up. But now we understand that, man, words live forever. Look at the ancient books. So when we look at it now, we see a lot of young people that have the potential to be great. So what we do now is we make a difference by showing example and elevating those brothers when they're willing to listen.
So one of the things that is key that I know is that when you have a man such as yourself, strong men help change the environment. And so it's a blessing that we have brother like Alexander out here to be able to help change the environment in such a way that the atmosphere shifts. The work that you do with the young men, not only do they know that you're strong, that they know that they have to be strong to be amongst you. Then on top of that, you're actually able to show them a way, because you can show them where you've been based off of your errors. Now you can show them where you are through your successes. Can you mention any success stories to us?
Absolutely. Coming home and, you know, where we couldn't find a job, man. Walmart wouldn't hire me, Target wouldn't hire me. Man, I couldn't shovel poo at a circus if I tried to get a job. It was terrible. And then one of the people that we had met said about DC Central Kitchen. That was my first success, getting in there, learning how to chef up some stuff. And they made me a mentor of some youth over there at the Ark over there in Mississippi and Southern Avenue. Mm-hmm. So that was a start. And then I met somebody that was in the DC Central Kitchen, and then they introduced me to the Georgetown Pivot Program. So I ended up going to Georgetown for a year. That was a blessing, because that allowed me to know that I can be more than somebody that either works in the kitchen. Because when I first came home, all the difficulty, I was like, man, it would be a blessing just to be a janitor in the building. And that's horrible. Mm-hmm. But the Georgetown program changed my perspective, because I'm an intelligent brother. I read over 1,000-some books in prison. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's a whole different level. So the Georgetown program. Eventually went to work in a transition house until now, whereas I was at a mental health space and where I got all those certifications to where I'm able to be at the state's attorney's office now, working with the truancy, the back on track, and being able to help those young people change their lives. So when you talk about success stories, it's not a thing about what we can't do. It's the thing of, are we willing to be persistent, consistent, and have that belief until we have faith to know that we can do what we do.
Absolutely. And that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. You see, this is the work that we're doing. We out here. So if you ever think that change isn't possible or that there aren't people out there helping, you're getting two examples right now. It's J.S. Russell. I wrote my freedom. I teach you how to write yours.